I started discus through school, and my PE teacher saw that after hours athletics class I had a real big talent for throwing the discus. I beat the other kids by 10 and 15 metres, so he quite clearly saw that that was something a little bit special and sent me off to my local athletics club. Ideally for a discus thrower you need to be obviously really strong, and that's why you don't peak until in my age, towards the end of the 29s, 30s and mid-30s, because you obviously need to develop a good base strength. But for me, I'm really strong upper body. Obviously my slight hindrance and my disability in my legs is a hindrance, but we try and get them as strong as possible because the throwing actually comes from the legs first of all, and then the upper body is really the last thing that kind of throws the discus and to generate lots of torque, and that's where you get your speed and power from, and hopefully a long distance.
The X6 is part of the X-Drive family. It's a four-wheel drive vehicle that BMW produce. It's the biggest four-wheel drive vehicle that BMW produce. It's almost in a category of its own. It's a sports utility vehicle, which essentially means it's a 4x4 coupe. A lot of power, lots of performance, dynamic, striking looking car. When you see the vehicle on the road, you can tell exactly what it is from the moment you look at it.
This winter we've really worked on strength, trying to build in a big amount of core strength, but it generally is quite strange. As you go on year, then you just get stronger and stronger and stronger, like God forbid injuries and stuff, but like the strength levels now are at almost peak, and then with the speed and agility, that's kind of something that we work through for months towards the major games. And for me as a discus thrower, like speed is really key, because I'm not 130 kilos and 6'6" like some of the big Russian able-bodied guys, and that's where they get their big throws from, is because they're such big units, where for me I need to be fast and I need to be relatively strong but also light as well.
With the X6, acceleration is always important. BMWs are a performance vehicle, and that's what customers expect to have back from the car. All the engines that BMW produce are turbocharged engines, and that helps with the car, moving it very quickly, but also moving it safely and under control as well. BMW's tagline is and used to be the ultimate driving machine, and with the acceleration in the X6, making sure it's quick is an important issue. The car has the ability to send power to the front or the rear wheels at any given point in time, and it can transfer 100% of the power to the front or 100% of the power to the back, so the car is always under control. On the rear wheels you have a system where the car can actually use the inner wheel to pivot itself around the corner, so it can stop the power on one half of the car and transfer the power to the other half of the vehicle, in essence making the car turn a lot faster than any other vehicle that's out there.
Yeah, balance for a discus thrower is really key actually, because you need to hold position at speed, which is is ultimately really hard when you're over 100 kilos, and you've got to balance on your foot in mid-air whilst travelling a 0.3 of a second throw. So to stay on balance and actually use your legs and your hips and everything to connect into the perfect throw, it is really difficult, and it's quite a bit of an art to master.
The consistency with the X6 is very important. The vehicle has numerous systems on there, but it also has different servicing systems on there as well. You have systems in place as well which are under the efficient dynamics umbrella of technologies, which help with the fuel economy on the vehicle, making sure you can get the most out of the car. In relation to Olympic athletes, the fuel economy is almost like stamina, that the car needs to be able to go on and on and on, like an athlete needs to be able to go on and on and on. And with the efficient dynamics technology on the vehicle, with the optimum amount of fuel, you can get the car and keep the car going for as long as possible.
Having a home games in London 2012 would just be unreal. Just thinking about Beijing was having 90,000 people there, and having 80,000 people in London will be immense, but they're all going to be British and cheering for us, where in China they were quite fierce and not cheering for you. So to have that, and obviously to have friends and family and home support, and just to have the whole ethos around it being a home games, and it's just going to be really something special.